Mr. Speaker, we're told that there was a standing ovation for Peter Sharple's speech from members of the UN Indigenous Rights Committee. I wonder whether these countries stood up and whether Peter Sharple's noticed Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Fiji, Iran, Israel, Burma, Rwanda, Somalia. We do not need in this country any lessons from countries like that on how to treat Indigenous peoples. No lessons whatever. And it is egregious for the Prime Minister and others to go crawling around the likes of that committee with that membership and tell us that things are going to change. Nothing will change. This is just an idle piece of words which mean nothing whatever. New Zealand has done more for the Indigenous peoples of this country than all of these countries put together twice over. And we didn't need any lessons from the United Nations Committee on Indigenous Rights to do it. New Zealand is honoured around the world for the way in which it has introduced Waitangi Tribunal resolutions and the way in which we've gone about grievance settlements with Indigenous people of this country. And for us to go around seeking the solace of countries like that on that list and many more makes me ashamed of the Parliament of this country, that we would debate with some kind of glee the fact that we got a standing ovation from countries like that at the UN. Let me say, Mr. Speaker, that New Zealand is already widely acknowledged as a world leader in recognising such rights, and it has a long-standing process through the Waitangi Tribunal for putting that recognition into practical effect to the very real advantage of righting past injustices of the Maori Indigenous people of this country. The declaration of the UN Committee on Indigenous Rights, on the other hand, is simply an expression of pious hopes without any necessary practical effect whatever. No practical effect, not binding. In fact, what Mr. Power, the Minister of Justice, told Parliament was that the government is considering the different meanings of the aspirational text. Well, which meaning did they sign up to? Didn't they know? Haven't they read it? Do they know what it means? The answer to all those questions is no, nothing to do with it. It's to do with a deal between the National Party and the Maori Party to get them alongside to run in this government. And it's idle for the Maori Party to claim some kind of great triumph for getting these countries to stand up. And I say they should be ashamed of themselves for thinking that this is some kind of triumph for them. It is part of the agony that we have to watch to see this take place.